will be excluded from the FTSE indices.
Okay, got that. Thanks very much. So lots of movers and shakers in the back of those index changes. Thank you, Vivek, for that. Deven, among all the stocks that Vivek mentioned, I just want to talk to you about the power names. He's told us that Power Grid and NTPC will see a slight weight increase in the Bharat 22. Aside of this event, I mean, there's a lot of other positive news flow. We're expecting peak power demand. I mean, a lot of these, even the thermal plants have been told to fire at full capacity. Your thoughts? Would you look at putting any money to work in the power space? And what part of the chain would you go to then? Generation, transmission, where?
So I think generation and transmission comparison, I would think that I think all the companies which you mentioned, including NTPC and Power Grid both, I feel that I think the valuations wise, I think they are definitely available at probably the bottom levels of valuation. So downside possibly I think is limited in this case. And
Right.
should the weight increases in the ETF, then in such case, I think the buying would emerge into this counter. So that should remain technically positive as far as the stock price is concerned in the counter. Overall, I think the argument for buying them into the portfolio, I think definitely I think is favorable. However, I think we believe that public sector companies, the immediate follow-up as far as I think the investors are concerned, it's not there. And as a result of which, I think the investors may not get very handsome return out of it. I would rather think that current market price, the corrections in the likes of Reliance and other companies, I would think that they would be offering better opportunity, probably when I think the market starts rising for getting the return out of investment is concerned. So would stay with some of the larger names like Reliance vis-a-vis others in PSUs.
Right, Deven, when the market starts rising is the big question, right? Because as soon as it saw a bit of a recovery, that's been swiftly sold into rather. In fact, we're virtually at, back in the red once again, holding on to the gains with just around 4.5 points on the Nifty, 16,976, back below that 17,000 mark. So we'll keep an eye out on how this pans out as we approach 3 as well. Just wanted your thoughts on two sectors from opposite ends of the spectrum, valuation spectrum, both of them doing well. One is FMCG, doing well in today's trading session. And the second is all the, oil marketing companies. They're at decadal lows in terms of valuation, lower oil prices, everyone's betting on them. FMCG companies, they're doing well, but they're far from decadal lows in terms of valuation.
So coming to FMCG first, I think fortunately the input cost has come under control. And as a result of which earlier the margin impact which was seen is possibly receding away, as I would put it. So from that perspective, I think we are definitely having relatively a sigh of relief as far as I think the margin aspect is concerned. And fortunately for India, I guess I think the purchasing power has not come down for the retail. So as a result of which, I think the FMCG products are facing the regular demand situation, which otherwise I think would probably be doubted. But I think that's not the case. Given the fact that I think the market is uncertain, I think people would like to park money into the likes of HUL for sure. And that is where probably I think you're seeing the portfolio shift also taking place in current times. So the factors are operating in favor as far as I think the FMCG rationale is concerned from investment point of view. OMCs definitely, I think the fall in the crude oil prices is, and if it sustains, I would rather put I think the underlying fact that if it sustains, then possibly it's a good time for OMCs, considering the fact that I think this year is going to be full of elections in every state. The fallen crude oil prices, I think, would ensure relatively better margins and the protection for the OMCs. So I would rather like to bet on that particular aspect. But again, buying with confidence doesn't arise here. Maybe I think the recovery in the stock prices, they can happen because of this impact.
Okay, Deven, thanks very much. Good speaking with you. Appreciate you joining in with that perspective. Just 7 points now, 8 points, 16.